You play a good game, boy, but September is finished. It's Sellout October. Now you die.
Boy.
Boy. Boy.
Boy.
Boy.
Well, this week we watched 1979's Phantasm.
Phantasm, boy. I'm so glad it's October.
It's Sellout October, bitches.
Stabby Stabby.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. You hear werewolves a-growlin' and slashers are prowling to fill you with fear.
Ow, ow, ow.
It's the scary zombiest time. It's the ghost spookiest time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yay!
It's Sellout October, the best
Finally.
month. Yeah, and welcome to Sellout October with Stabby Stabby. It's a podcast that typically watches obscure horror, thriller, and exploitation movies, and we just rub them all over our bodies. But this month, we do popular movies that people have seen and might want to hear us talk about.
Let's sell out, baby.
So I'm Greg. I'm one of your hosts, and tonight I am drinking a tall, cold glass of the powdered Lipton iced tea because it's sugary, and I feel like I need a lot of energy tonight because it's October, and I'll be up for the next 31 days, and I'm not sleeping. I'm just gonna watch movies. Eric, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking a big hoppy. It's that's what it's called. It's from Lawson's. It's a black IPA. And I haven't had black IPA in a while, and I feel like it's like a underrated style, and you don't see it too often. And Lawson's is in on the game. It's good. It's dark. It's a little resinous, a little sticky, a little bitter, a little roasty. It's got some dank aromas in it. It's good. It's good stuff. Dan, what's going on with you?
Hey, I'm drinking a Root Down Brewing Company's Fest beer. It's just called Fest. It's 6% alcohol, and it's quite yummy. It's delicious. It doesn't have any of the things you just described. It's kind of watery, and it tastes like a lager, and I'm enjoying it. It's very good, very bready. I like it. I'm a fan, and I'm a boy.
Have some bread beer, boy.
Who brought who came up with Phantasm? Who brought Phantasm to the table?
I think it was me. We're looking for, I think last year we did an Elm Street, we did a Hocus Pocus, a Tremors, and a Halloween. So we didn't have anything from the Phantasms franchise. So might as well pop off October with a little bit of Tall Man.
Pop it off.
And we're just doing one. We're not doing all. Are there like 114 of these now, or something like that?
It's either 114 or just 5.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
One of those two, or someplace in the middle. Yeah, we're not doing all 5, just the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. This movie has a warm place in my heart. I had some good friends from back in the day who were obsessed with this movie, and I watched it a bunch of times with them. And I get why they're obsessed with it. It's certainly an interesting film.
Oh, yeah. I watched the first 4. I did not make the 5th one. I tried my best.
God
But
damn, dude!
I got 4 in.
You're dedicated.
I watched the first one twice, once with the commentary. So I'm all phantasmed up.
Well, we appreciate your sacrifice. I mean, I love the franchise. I think the whole series is good.
Oh
and
yeah,
fun.
yeah. I just ran out of time. Like I gotta finish Bad Boy. I got one left.
Well, we should get to the plot before the veins bulging out of the sides of Eric's neck start to burst from all this phantasm knowledge. It's too late.
Well, the episode will be faster. Eric's dead.
All right, let's take this plot to our brains like a metal ball.
Ooh, let's do it.
Now let's get to the plot.
So, 1979's Phantasm, directed by the great Don Coscarelli, opens immediately on the title, and then we fade into a funeral home and a graveyard at Morningside. in the graveyard, a man named Tommy, he's getting laid behind a gravestone, so good on him.
Yeah.
As the woman is on top, we see the woman's face, and it changes to an old man who we'll later learn is the tall man, though he's never really given a name in this movie. But yeah, we find that out after she stabs him and kills him, but not before we see some boobs right away.
We got boobs.
Great job.
Oops.
Yeah. You know what I like better than boobs is boobs that are implied to belong to an old man. I didn't know that was my thing, but you know, here we are.
That's why I hang out the YMCA locker room.
You gotta get some sweet low hangers from old retirees. I get it.
You never quite see some heavy hangers until you're in the Y gym. Oof.
That's the real reason you like Jaws. You just wait for the bad hat Harry scene. You're
Yeah.
like, this is it. Here it comes.
Man, those things are like pancakes on a nail. Like,
Yeah, those are stunt boobs. Those are they're not our actress, not our
That's
lavender
fine.
lady.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take disembodied boobs for $100, Alex.
I mean, humanoids from the deep had stunt boobs as well, so it's a common thing.
Oh, and I'm not complaining. I was just pointing out.
Oh, well, thank you.
They have their own credit at the end of the movie.
Wait, really? It's just stunt boobs?
Yeah, no, it's like Lavender Girl 1 and Lavender Girl 2, or the second one, something like that.
Oh, man, I was hoping
Yeah.
they're going to call out, like, tit A, tit B. All right. And this is the first of 2 sexual encounters in graveyards. And, do people do that? Is that something people do?
Yeah.
All right, I want to get into that. That sounds fun.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
go down in
Do you have
graveyards.
Do you have experience of graveyard banging?
No, I'm just saying. That's a thing. Yeah, it's like you have nowhere else to go. It's either the woods or the graveyard. Where else you gonna go?
Stay in your
Or the back of a car. Yeah, the back of a car.
Yeah. Drive to some, like, suburban office industrial complex. Park in a parking lot. That's what I did when I was growing up. Come on, graveyards. You know, zombies aren't... Well, I guess zombies are in office complexes, so I take it back.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh,
We're going to tackle
whoa,
zombies
whoa.
either way.
Topical.
Yeah.
Top-
One wants brains, the other one wants Microsoft Teams. It's either way, it's terrifying.
Oh man! All right, so we move from the graveyard to Tommy's funeral at the same funeral home, Morningside. We meet Jody and Reggie, who are Tommy's friends.
Jody. Hi, Reg. How's it going? Tommy's gone. It's a hell of a way to end a trio. It's hard to believe. Killed himself. Hey, I'm gonna go visit somebody. I'll catch you inside. Yeah.
Jody visits the mausoleum where his parents are buried, in that same, cemetery.
Too much
In the
marble.
No, not enough marble.
No, too much marble. It's head to floor marble in that mausoleum. It's a marbleum, and it was made uncomfortable by it.
I think it's this scene where the cinematography is absolutely beautiful with that marble.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yes. But it's so marbly, it's unsettling. Like, the set feels uncomfortable to be in. Like, if I could bring a carrot to a mausoleum and be able to cut it on any surface I find, I'm made uncomfortable. That's my metric for comfort. I don't want every surface to be a cutting board. It's too much marble.
You just keep like a carrot in your back pocket all the time.
I mean, you can call it a carrot if you want to. I'm just
Just
excited to
tail.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a set. That mausoleum set was in like an LA warehouse, and all that marble, because obviously they can't afford marble on an indie budget, was contact paper. Like
Wow,
wallpaper.
nice.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Looked
It
pretty
looks
good, I thought.
fantastic.
Yeah. It reminded me of like the Black Lodge from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the red curtains, the white like armless statues, and the patterns, the marble patterns. It's cool.
Yeah.
Not that the
Cool
Black
ass
Lodge
set.
had marble, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It had those
It's
vibes.
get that vibe, yeah. So in the mausoleum, Jody hears some weird screeching type sounds. Eventually, he meets a tall old man, or the tall man.
Uh-oh.
The funeral is about to begin, sir.
And it's the same man we saw flash when Tommy was killed, the scene before. We then meet Mike, who is Jody's brother, as he motorcycles through the graveyard.
Like, a little disrespectful. That's fine. We'll give him a pass. He's a little
Listen,
boy.
we got motorcycling through the graveyard. We got graveyard banging. This is a party.
I'm not hanging out enough graveyards. Why do you guys ever invite me? I feel left out. Let's go set off some fireworks tonight. We're not doing anything. Let's do it. Let's meet up.
Yeah,
That's
we won't
definitely
wake
a
anyone
graveyard
up.
thing. Fireworks and banging. Top 2.
Top 2.
After,
This isn't
well,
Family Feud. You know, Steve Harvey going, graveyard banging. Number 1.
Motorcycle number 6. Sorry. It's low down on the board.
ooh.
Only 3 points.
Number 3, robbing graves. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's a good one. Out of the corner of Mike's eye, he sees a cloaked figure sneaking around, and he also hears the screeches that Jody had heard. Now, Jody doesn't allow Mike to come to the funeral because he had nightmares for months after his parents died. But Mike watches with binoculars from the bushes. After the funeral, Mike sees the old man, the tall man, pick up the casket by himself and load it back into the hearse.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. It blew my mind when I saw that guy pick it up and put it in because I just assumed it would be very heavy. But then as the movie went on, I was like, wait, was it that heavy? Does he have supernatural strength or am I just really weak? And then later on in the movie, they address that, no, that is an incredible feat of strength. So I felt less weak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever carried a coffin? They're heavy.
No, never once.
Oh, you're missing out. It's great.
Yeah.
Not really.
It's good. It's
No,
been a
it's a
weekend.
horrible experience.
If they're made of paper mache, then you just chuck them in the hearse and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Cremate me, baby. Burn me up and sprinkle me on a salad. That's how I want to go.
Oh, man, just throw me in the garbage. Who cares?
just Thursday morning, the trash guy comes like, oh fuck, we're not getting paid
not
for this
again.
month, are we? The guy himself is in here.
Himself.
Nothing.
Yeah. Tries to serve you a notice. You can't throw yourself out, sir. But you're just dead.
They have little cameras on the truck to make sure you're not, you're recycling appropriately. They're like, nope, we're not taking this one. Goes back.
Gotta use the purple self bin. This guy, he did not follow the instructions we mailed him.
There's a third bin just for bodies.
Yeah, for yourself.
Yeah, you just wait for 80 years and you're like, all right, you just crawl in it.
Time to get out the
done.
casket bin.
I knew it would come in handy one time.
I want to live in that world.
Yeah. All right, so later Mike goes to a fortune teller and her granddaughter. He tells her that he found out that Jody plans to leave town and leave him behind. We get a flashback of this where, Mike overhears Jody talking to his friend saying hey, I gotta leave. Yeah, I'm leaving town, but, Mike's 13. He can take care of himself.
Yeah, he's a grown man now.
I forgot to mention, not to go backwards, but when the tall man picks up the coffin and they show Mike peering through his binoculars, he just mouths "what the fuck" under his breath.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I just love that little touch.
Yeah. It was really funny.
Do they drop the F-bomb in this movie? Because they call things a mother a lot, but I can't remember if they ever said fuck.
I don't know.
I think they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Considering some of the other stuff we see, that's kind of surprising. But yeah, I don't remember this being very tawdry in the mouth. Just tawdry in other ways.
And there was a lot of cursing in it. Mike had a dirty mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's a scene he gets carried upstairs that he's cursing a lot, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, he says goddamn and hell and bastard and shit like
yeah,
that.
you bastard. Yeah.
IMDb's Parents Guide for Profanity says there's at least one fuck.
Oh, boy.
So.
I wonder if it was that one. What the fuck?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so he's at the fortune teller. Now, the fortune teller tells Mike that Jody will take Mike with him if he does leave. Mike also tells her about the tall man stealing the coffin. And we see this as well, and another flashback to that scene. And Mike, scaredly gets on the motorcycle, starts riding off, and it seems the tall man has psychic powers, and he knocks Mike off his bike.
Yeah.
Which is pretty great. Yeah.
Or knocks the stuntman off the bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you had psychic powers, you'd be doing that shit all the time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every time, a loud motorcycle goes flying down my street, I would just sit out on the porch and flip them. Oh, that'd be so satisfying. Just yank the muffler right off it. Have fun. All right, now I'm tired today. I'm just gonna be a grumpy boy.
Oh, Grumpy Dan. You can't be grumpy, not during Sellout October.
That's right. It's the most wonderful time of year. I'm so spooked.
So now the fortune teller, she materializes a black box on the table and tells Mike to put his hand in it. It locks around his hand, but he's told to not fear because fear is the killer.
Fear is the killer. That's what grandmother wants you to learn.
It's the mind killer.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it was from that.
She's a
that
Bene
movie-
Gesserit from
that-
Dune.
Yeah, that free
Yeah.
movie I watched on HBO Max.
Man, I love the new Dune adaptation is brilliant. I loved it. I've seen it so many times now.
I like it too, and it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. It looks great.
Seriously, the music's good, performances are great, the effects are awesome. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Do you guys want to talk about Dune?
Are we talking about the bar that's in Phantasm that's called Dune?
Oh, wait. Oh, so there's multiple references to Dune in this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, it's a Bene Gesserit, like, trial thing. She has him stick his hand in a box and tells him the fear is the mind killer. It's pretty great. I loved it. Also, the grandma talks through her, like, super cute granddaughter. That was fun.
Yeah, and she had like a star mole on her face.
Yeah. I'm Team Star Mole. That's great. I like gap teeth and star moles. Here we go.
It's your thing.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, she seemed like maybe she was, like, college age or something? That, like, she's like, I don't have to go to school. I am the vessel for my grandmother's prophecies. I'm locked in.
I thought she was more closer to Mike's age.
Oh,
which
was
would
she?
be
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
All right, I take it. Everything I just said, I take it back. I'm not into that. I feel dirty now.
No,
I
but, you know,
did
hey, if you find a nice 30-year-old with a star mole, you know, we know that's for you.
Yeah. Or 90-year-old.
All right, this
Yeah.
is a
Grandma.
secret between the three of us. Nobody else is
All
listening.
right, we won't
Right.
tell anybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
How about when he leaves and they're just like cracking up?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought
yeah.
that was the most disturbing part out of all of it. The grandma just starts like busting up laughing.
Well,
when
it
he
really
leaves.
feels like she's not a real fortune teller.
Yeah.
Well,
But she made a box materialize. Which
she delivers him a message that he refers back to. Like, he harkens back to that fortune later in the
Oh,
movie, and it
yeah.
helps him. Plus,
Right.
yeah, and like Eric just said, she did materialize something and make something. She made money disappear too. So
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the I can't now they're all like mixing in my head, but I think it was 4. There's a time travel component, and Mike goes back in time and meets the tall man. Before he's the tall man, he's Jebediah Morningside. He's like a normal mortician, and his wife is in a wheelchair and looks just like the freaking grandma. creepy grandma.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, and she just laughs. Like it's a callback. Definitely is like some sort of connection. But yeah,
Oh, that's neat. Little circle there. I like that.
yeah.
I've not seen the sequels to this movie, but I feel like that's something I have to do. I should sit down and watch them. I will follow your path, Eric.
It's cool. They build like a whole mythology out, and they kind of have an origin, and it gets real
Oh.
freaky. There's like orb boobs at one point.
Nice. All right, I'm in.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I did.
Cool.
That was my one major disappointment in this movie. Every time I watch it, is I want more orb shit.
Yeah.
That orb
Yeah.
is not in this movie enough. I wanted that all day.
Yeah, they go more into that. Yeah,
Yeah, you only
There's-
get about 2, I think, in this movie. The sphere.
Yeah.
there's gold spheres. There's ones with lasers. There's ones that have little eyeballs that poke out.
In
Like,
the
they
5th
really-
one, there's like a city-sized one.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We get a little musical break with Jody and Reggie. It's pretty wonderful. And Reggie is, I don't know, is it weird to say he's the most adorable man I've ever met
Oh, he's
in
the
my
best.
life?
Yeah, he's great.
The best. Yeah.
Ice cream truck man, with he's
yeah.
bald on top. He's got a ponytail out the back. He's perfect.
He's a
He's-
perfect man.
He's too young to be creepy yet. He's right at that threshold where it's cute. He will be creepy in 15 years, but right
Well-
now you can rock it.
Yeah, so like, how old do you think he is in this movie? Or how old was the actor at this point? Because he looks 50.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say he looks 2022 50, but I'm guessing in 79 he was like 26.
He's 34.
Was he?
Yeah. All right.
Wow,
So he
all
kind of
right.
looks 34.
And he's in every single sequel. He's our
Yeah.
hero. He's like our
Badass.
main dude. He's like becomes our Ash, which you would not suspect from an
Yeah.
ice cream man who plays guitar.
Yep. Last
He's
time
good
we
at
had
guitar
kind
too.
of the only other time we kind of had hero ice cream men was Killer Clowns in Outer Space, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
can't think
not
of any
quite
others.
as much as Reggie, but
And I think, isn't the actor's name Reggie?
yeah,
Yeah.
and that makes
Again,
things
it's full
easy.
circle. Is everything part of Phantasm canon? I think so.
Yeah, it could be.
There's little
Yeah,
orbs
probably
hatch open, a little Freddy Krueger crawls out. That's where the blades come from.
Bitch.
Boy, bitch. That's just all that happens in the bedroom at night. They just go back and forth.
Wait, we're saying that the tall man and Freddy are in bed together.
Yeah, well,
and they're
Freddy's
just
still
boying
not
and
hatched out of
bitching
his
back
egg
and-
yet. Yeah.
Or they're both just pretending to be other people because they can, transform into other things.
Oh, that's true.
And it starts aggressive. Boy, bitch. And then after a while, it's boy, bitch.
Oh, bitch.
Boy.
They just fall asleep.
Yeah, he's just got like
His
little
arms.
eyeglasses cleaner cloth. He's just polishing the orb. Boy. the orb's little dagger comes out and just starts shaving the tall man. Bitch. I would watch that. Make that porno,
Alright.
Greg.
I'm already writing it in my head.
All right, perfect.
All right, yeah. So Reggie, he's an ice cream man, and he uses his tuning fork while he's tuning his guitar, and I think that kind of comes back later, but not really.
Sort of.
Yeah.
In like a surrealist kind of way. I actually kind of
Yeah.
like that. It doesn't make intuitive sense, but it makes like lyrical sense. How he
Yeah.
like learns
Oh.
the lesson of one and uses it someplace else. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
nice.
take that. Yeah.
I'm your ice
Um,
cream man. Gonna get you with a tuning fork.
Gonna shut down this portal to another dimension and give you an ice cream cone.
When are we gonna have just like a musical episode where we have where we pre-write songs?
I'm in.
We're halfway
Yeah.
there already.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're gonna have to watch a musical movie for it though. So,
Yeah.
was
Anna and the Apocalypse. Maybe we can do that for Christmas. I love
No.
that movie.
What about
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Dr. Alien? That had a lot of music in it.
I mean, that's like. I mean, so did Neon Maniacs. Had a bunch of songs in it too. That's
Oh,
kind of how
no.
like
I don't want to watch that movie
Dr.
again.
Alien is. But all right,
I'm on
moving
Team
on.
Eric on Neon Maniacs. I did not enjoy that movie.
Whatever. It's weird that you're both wrong, but that's fine.
That's fair.
All right, so now we get a quick scene of the fortune teller's
Oh.
granddaughter. What?
Sorry. I'm behind on my notes. Like I'm catching up after you're gone. You're done already. Our other dude, Jody. What's the guy's name? The actor's name's Bill, I think. He
Yeah.
wrote the song. Yeah, he wrote that song himself.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a
So,
good song.
Yeah, it's kick-ass. I love that little moment. I was tapping my foot.
There's a little musical moment at the end of the movie too that I want to talk about, but yeah, it's
We'll get there.
a lot of fun guitar stuff.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the other, sorry, real quick factoid thing. They're drinking Dos Equis throughout the entire movie. I'm sure you've noticed, right? So it was
Yeah.
like a brew company promotion from Dos Equis, and they gave them 60 to 70 cases. They dropped off in a garage for them. That was their payment to have the beer featured in the movie, which I thought was pretty awesome.
That's rad. I'd
So
take
Yeah.
that
what
deal.
you're saying is, if any brewery wants to like promote on the show, just drop off 60 or 70 cases of beer. We'll only drink that while until it's gone.
Yeah.
You should get that with Rebel Hill and Bleed Green. It's our
Yeah.
stable beer at this point.
Hey, Greg, Patrick, Doug, hook me up.
Give us cases of beer, please. Thank you.
All right, so we get a quick scene of fortune teller's daughter visiting the funeral home. She opens a door, a bright light shines through, and we hear her scream.
No.
That night, Jody is at the bar. The bar is the Dune Bar, and Mike is once again spying on him because Mike cannot not be near Jody.
Hey, he's a peeping Tom, that kid.
Yeah.
And it's the Dune Saloon.
Oh, the Dune Saloon.
Yeah, it was rhymey. I liked it. The Dune Saloon.
Jody picks up a blonde woman, the same one that killed Tommy in the lavender dress, and they go to the cemetery together. And you know what happens in the cemetery? They get hot and heavy as Mike, again, watches from the bushes.
They pay their genital respects to each other. It's very respectful.
There's a boob flash in this scene as well.
Yeah.
Mike smiles when he sees the boobs, but Jody smiles. They both have like a similar smile. I just thought it was a good little touch.
Yeah, they both
And they
say
both-
wow.
Yeah, they both say wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at
I've never seen
that.
those before, huh?
Well, listen, I don't think a man ever just doesn't feel like they should say wow when they see boobs. Like,
Every
no
time.
matter how many times you've seen them, they get a wow no matter what.
It's a wow tractor beam. It sucks it out of your mouth. Wow.
They pan to the right of Mike with his binoculars, and it's just the tall man just peeking through his own set, just going, boobs.
Wow, boy.
Boy, get a load of those, boy.
Also, this is
I like
this
that
is
the
when
tall man. We just made him into like a peeping pervert now. I love it.
oh, he's that tall. You know, he can get his eyes over the ledge of a lot of higher up windows. He's got a
That's true.
peeping tom advantage.
He can also steal pies off of the windowsills.
As they're cooling. He's in a Tom and Jerry cartoon all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that tall man again.
He's got like a little line of his little Jawa creatures that he can hand the pie off to while he distracts the grandma. I want to see a grandma chase him with a rolling pin. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Oh man, somebody make that make a Phantasm cartoon.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like funny Phantasm, spelled with a PH.
He could be like one manning a coffin down a hallway and then slip on a sleeping orb. And like whoa, 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 throw the coffin in the air. End up
Oh yeah,
inside
he
of
slips
it.
on it. Yeah, well, he slips on it and he falls back, and like the little knife comes out and it lands right on his butt. He gets
Yeah.
poked in the butt
Ow,
by
ow,
it.
ow, ow, ow.
Ah,
Each
I like
orb
this.
could have its own like personality, like the gummy bears.
Like
you
the
know.
minions, where they don't talk but they have the personality.
Yeah,
They're like Teletubbies. These
all
winky,
make different
blinky. Yeah.
different sounds, a slightly different color.
Yeah, I guess we could have went with like R2D2. Like he's got a personality even though he doesn't talk. He just beeps.
Yeah,
And BB-8.
Give it to me. I'd watch that cartoon.
Yeah.
do it.
All right. So while Mike is peeping at some boobs in the cemetery, he hears growling, and a hooded dwarf attacks him. These hooded dwarfs are basically Jawas, but I don't think Coscarelli copied Jawas. I think it was coincidence.
He was first. They mentioned it in the commentary. And then he was like, "Oh, should I go back and like change the color of the robes and stuff?" And he was like, "Ah, fuck it."
I'm glad he did.
He's like,
It
fuck
works.
it. Nobody's gonna see this movie.
Yeah, he said it was conceived before Star Wars. So.
I mean, it's not a surprise. Like he would have been filming this for a while and like doing pre-prod for a while. So
There's a lot of crazy effects in that. That shit takes time.
yeah.
Yeah, eat it, Star Wars. You're not that original.
Well, no, it's not original like at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so yeah, Mike's getting attacked by a hooded dwarf. He runs off screaming, right past Jody and the topless woman. Jody runs off to see what's going on. He catches Mike, and Mike tells Jody that something was coming after him, something little, brown, and low to the ground.
Are you describing a poop right now?
It's just a groundhog. But yeah, so Jody sends Mike home, and as he goes back to the woman, she is gone. She lost all the heat, all the cemetery heat. Oh man,
Is that in your note, Greg?
no, I just
Heat is gone.
No.
She smiled too big, and she had a very toothy smile. The wider she smiled, eventually all the teeth ran away, and she had to chase them. That's what I like to think of.
Nice.
It's tough to do at night in a
Cemetery
graveyard.
heat, cemetery teeth, cemetery teeth, round.
This is fully musical at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know why. It doesn't have to be. This is it's like
It's a Fantasia Phantasm. I'm in.
yeah. All right.
I want it.
All right, so back at the house, Mike is asleep in bed. Suddenly, he wakes up in his bed in the cemetery with a tall man standing above. And two hooded dwarves pop out of the ground and grab him.
Yeah. That's like the posture from the poster. Where he's kind of leaning over the bed. Awesome.
Yeah.
Who? What's that guy's name? Angus Scrimm, the guy
Yeah.
that plays the tall man. What a dude! What a dude!
What a dude.
If I saw him like picking which melon was ripest at the grocery store, it would terrify me. Like, I feel like there are multiple, this is one moment where he isn't doing anything and he's terrifying. He's perfect.
True.
Yeah, he's one of the greats. One of the greats.
Also,
I love
like,
you, Angus.
all the interviews with him, he's like the nicest guy. And then the least scariest dude ever. It seems like he would just be like your buddy. Like, he's so friendly and like down to earth and nice. Same thing with Don Coscarelli. They both seem just like fun guys to hang out with.
Man, it's a shame he got cursed with a face that looks like a rotten fish. Like, he looks terrifying. That's great to know. He's somebody's like cheerful old grandpa, but I'm gonna see him in my dreams tonight. He's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, he plays a great role.
Yeah.
He'll just say like, "You're doing all right, boy."
What do you want from me?
So later, as Mike is walking around town, he spies the tall man across the road, right by Reggie's ice cream truck. Reggie opens the back door of the truck to get some stuff out, and the tall man turns as he gets into the cold fog from the truck. And we can't really tell if he likes the cold or if he's in pain.
Yeah,
like
I
it was
love
very
this.
Interesting.
It's all in slow-mo, and his footsteps are like echoing. It looked like he sniffed the air to me. Like he was like,
Yeah.
Choco taco.
I would like a drumstick, boy.
Nutty buddies, please.
Yeah, I like that. I like that strut that he had when he was walking down the sidewalk too. He had like a little model strut going on. He worked it.
Work it.
What were we gonna say?
Oh, in one of the movies, I get them all confused, but they revisit that he doesn't like the cold.
Yeah.
They're like, he doesn't like the cold, and they flash back to the scene. So I guess that's what we were supposed to infer from this, but to me, it just looked like he was sniffing around a little bit. But,
oh, that never really comes back in this movie. That's
No,
like
it
the one
doesn't.
moment.
Yeah.
So that night, Mike is working underneath Jody's car. He sees cloaked feet walking around. The car falls off the lift and traps Mike underneath.
Terrifying.
But Mike is able to get out, and the dwarves are gone, and he hits Jody in the foot with a hammer.
Bonk.
This is like that Deep Star 6 moment when they were trying to get through the door that was collapsing, and it was so tense. When this kid was underneath a car propped up on those, what do you call them, jacks? Oh, man. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't think I could be a mechanic. That shit seems scary.
I couldn't either because I couldn't think of the word jack. I put lift in my notes because I was like, this is not going to happen.
So let us fix your car, ladies and gentlemen. We know what we're doing. No, that's terrifying. That's spooky.
I love the hollow bonk sounds, the sound effect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just like, you hit my... Oh, he does say fucking in this. He's
Oh, that's the moment.
You hit my fucking foot, man. It's
You're right. I remember that. And then he's trying to convince his older brother that actually no, it was little cloaked little people running around the garage. Yeah, that would be that's a tall tale.
Yeah, it's a hard sell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
So Jody doesn't believe him that there's little creature people coming after him. So in the middle of the night, Mike grabs a knife and heads out to Morningside. He sneaks into the funeral home. In the mausoleum, he hears crashing sounds coming from a room. He runs off only to be chased by a silver sphere flying through the air. Who I can only assume is the caretaker. He ends up catching Mike. And as Mike is escaping from the caretaker by biting his arm, the sphere has knives that pop out, and it nails the caretaker in the head, drilling into his skull and just shooting blood out the back of it in what is probably the best thing. And I love when the caretaker falls to the ground, he pees his pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing that pee before this restoration.
Yeah.
Like in the VHS days, I just don't remember that detail, but it is clear as day. And I guess J.J. Abrams was like, pump up that pee color because it's important. But yeah, it's real clear on the Blu-ray. It's great.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good thing to mention. Yeah, we watched the Bad Robot, like 4K restoration.
Beautiful.
Looks
great.
Yeah,
gorgeous. Got a lot of cool extras too.
That whole death sequence is incredible and amazing, and it's probably a good thing it only happens once, because maybe it would be a trick that gets old when you see it too many times in one movie. But man, it was effective. What a cool
But-
effect. Just shoot
but-
his brains out. An orb that spikes you in the head and then shits your brains out. That's crazy. Who comes up with that?
How cool would it have been, though, if you had, like, 10 orbs? Like, if you just had, like, 10 people standing in a circle, just like the barf trough in Taxidermia, and the orbs came out and hit them all and just, like, poured all the blood into, like, a big bucket in the middle? Just like an orgy of blood?
Yeah, I think has a name when you stand in a circle and liquid enters a bucket simultaneously. I can't think of the name. It's
Oh, we'll
escaping
come
my
up with
mind right now, but yeah, I think it's something specific.
All right, well, never
It
mind.
was a circle jerk. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys are getting
Yeah.
that or not. Yeah, okay.
Well, what would happen if you had one guy with 10 orbs attached to him? Would he just turn into like a wrinkled husk, like in Under the Skin or something? I want to see that. Did they do that in one of the sequels?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
what?
I want to see one guy get attacked by like a swarm of like
Oh, they do.
mosquitoes. Really?
Yeah, Reggie does. Yeah, he gets. There's got to be like 12 to 16 of them. They corner him and levitate him into a corner and push him up against the corner, and then one goes for the kill. But yeah,
But
they're
he's
all-
not getting
they're all-
like they're not all attacking him. Like only one goes after him.
that's right. Yeah, they're all holding back.
Yeah,
While the
I
one
think
can attack
I think Dan is wondering if there's like 10 spheres all stuck into one person. What is it shooting out if the one goes right into your pee hole? I think that's
Yeah.
Dan's
Oh,
question.
I got you. Oh,
Yeah, there'd be like one in each butt cheek. There'd be one in each thigh, one in each boob. They would just like, yeah, they drain you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they
Well-
would make like a little human icing. A little
It can
pool
be in the
of icing.
cartoon. We'll put that in the cartoon.
Yeah, it's the opening credits. You know, really distinguish who our audience is supposed to be.
Ooh, yeah, man, I'm loving this show. All right, so we got the guy peeing his pants and blood shooting out. The tall man then rounds the corner. We get a little chase scene throughout the funeral home where Mike ultimately cuts off one of the tall man's fingers. We see that he has yellow blood, so he is not a human. And his fingers just kind of move on their own after they're cut off. So Mike takes a finger and escapes before the dwarves can catch him.
I love that moment
Nice.
when the reveal that the fingers are like wiggling through the door.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the tall man felt it when his fingers got hacked off because I feel like that door had a pretty intense seal on it. So I
That
kind of
is
assumed
true,
at that
yeah.
point that hand is done and his fingers were already kind of independently wriggling. But whatever, I'll take it. I love hand chopping.
I love the scene of Mike and the tall man like looking at each other down the mausoleum hallway. It was very
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Western, like they were sizing each other up, and then they were stepping in sync to each other before Mike runs off. And then the framing was just awesome. There's like this droning music, and it was so cool, so well done.
The music
Yeah.
in this movie is definitely worth mentioning. Have we mentioned the music a lot?
I don't
No.
think so.
Oh,
No.
because I was mentioning before we started recording that this movie felt like on this viewing, like one of those old. Is it giallo? Giallo? I read the word more than I say it. It
I
reminds
say
me of
giallo.
It reminds me of a
that's what I
giallo film with that constant kind of jazzy, jammy, but really high tension music underscoring everything. I loved it. It worked so well for this movie.
I agree. Plus, they use it in the intro, and then they kind of hold off, and then they save it for these big impact scenes, and then use the intro again. But then like drums come in, like all the other instruments come in and like really build it out. It's so fucking cool.
It's really effective. It like really sets off how the structure of this movie is very dreamlike. Like scenes kind of ebb and flow back and forth between each other. There's not a lot of hard structure to it, and the music just it works so well with it. I've said the word lyrical already, but this movie is very lyrical. It could be a musical. It could be a musical.
Yeah, and really it should be.
It should be. You're right. Let's go back in time. Phantasm the
Yeah.
musical.
All right, so the next day, Mike shows Jody the finger, which is still moving around in a box. Jody now believes Mike that something's going on. Mike also tells him that the tall man stole Tommy's coffin at the funeral. So Mike goes to get the finger. They're going to go to the cops, but now it's transformed into a fly spider monster
Yeah.
that attacks Mike.
Jim
they're able
Henson
to
finger puppet.
yeah, they're
I
able
like-
to Yeah.
I like that Jody like looks in the box, like he's like, okay, and then Jody looks in the box and he's like, oh yeah, I believe you. Once he sees it, it's great.
That was a great moment.
Good little device. Yeah.
But yeah, so the fly spider monster's kind of flying around, attacking them. Reggie shows up at one point, and they're able to kill the little spider monster in the garbage disposal. So yeah, now Mike, Jody, and Reggie are all aware that something is not right.
Fingers turning into flies. You're not in
finger
for a
flies.
good time. Yeah, it's a problem.
So Jody arms up and heads to check out Morningside by himself. He sneaks in the same way that Mike did, and he kills some dwarves. I like where he just shoots the one point blank in the face.
Yeah, he almost shoots himself in the head. The
Yeah.
dwarf was on his back, and he like, it's not even that he shoots properly at it. He like turns the gun around so that he pulls the trigger like with his thumb. He's holding the gun backwards, and he shoots it right at his own head. It made me nervous.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you've got a Jawa on you, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I get it, I guess.
Dude, even if that was a blank, like that had to be loud as shit. It was like right next to his head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in that tight little space.
Yeah.
Also, I couldn't help but notice every time that scene plays out, after he shoots him with the pistol and then he falls off, and then the Jawa gets up and starts running at him again, and he shoots him like, 2 or 3 more times to kill him. At that point, he's never seen one of these things unrobed, and it just looks like a kid. Looks like a little
That's
kid in
true,
a robe.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, for all he knows, this guy's got like little orphans working for him in a really unusual uniform. And he just gunned one of them
Murdering
down.
children.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think
Yeah.
stand your ground works when you're breaking into a house.
No, I don't think it does.
At the end, they just like unrobe them, and it's just like a baseball team. They're all wearing the same uniform. It's like a little league team. Oh shit!
Big like
not-
sponsored by Dune Saloon patches on their shoulders. The whole town comes out to mourn.
Fuck.
Man.
They won
Well.
last year.
Oh yeah. After Jody kills some kids, he quickly hightails it out of the out of the funeral home. He's chased by a hearse, though. Thankfully, Mike picks him up in his car, and we get a car chase scene. They
It's
end up.
Cuda.
Yep. I'm
It's
not
an
a
awesome
car guy,
car.
but it's an awesome car.
Fuck, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. I want one so bad.
It's cool as shit. It's like a big black muscle car. I'm not a car guy either, but it just looks cool as shit. Barracuda.
It's objectively badass. I'm also not a car guy. I want that car.
Yeah, there's
It's my object of desire.
Yeah, one of the episode additional things on the Blu-ray is, I guess it's a car show called Graveyard Cars, and they rebuild classic cars from movies and shit, and they built the Phantasm Cuda as a tribute.
Nice.
And it's got Don Coscarelli and the actor that plays Mike in it driving around. It's pretty cool. It's like
Nice.
a little 12-minute thing. It's definitely worth watching.
I believe during the Christmas marathon on the last drive-in, Joe Bob's show, they did the Phantasm series, but they skipped number 2. And I think Joe Bob basically was like, "Yeah, I don't want to show it because they destroy the Cuda, and I just can't. I can't abide that."
Yeah. Yeah. In this little episode, Don's like, "Oh yeah, we carved a sunroof into the hardtop of the original Cuda." He was like, "I would never do that again."
Man.
Like, yeah, he like regretted it. But yeah, it's a badass car, and it's in all the movies. It's like a staple, and it changes a little bit. There's like a Hemi version, and there's one with a spoiler, and one with a soft top that's like a what do you call it?
Convertible?
Yeah, convertible.
I want them
I
all.
don't-
Let's start a collection.
Yeah, it's cool.
Let's do it. I mean,
Nice.
Hot Wheels. We're not rich men. Let's get the Cuda Hot Wheel collection. I'm in.
I like that they slightly change. It's like Jason's mask or something. There's always like
Yeah.
a little different flourish.
Hey, you got to sell toys somehow.
Yeah, that's right.
All these Phantasm action figures. Yeah, so there's a little car chase. So Mike and Jody end up getting the hearse to crash. They go up to it, only to find out that the dwarf that was driving is a miniaturized version of Jody's friend Tommy, who died at the very first scene. We got a little Tommy.
Little Tommy.
That's a terrifying. I feel like this movie didn't sell how terrifying that would be, or at least it didn't for me. But it is as an idea that is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
But it's not only that your loved ones have come back from the grave, but that they've been like distorted somehow like that. That's
Yep.
so weird. It's so weird. It's good. I love all the ideas in this movie. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, the that scene where they're filming the chase and they're blasting that's the sunroof, out of the sunroof, they're blasting at the hearse with a shotgun, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's a book that Don Coscarelli, it's a memoir of all of his filmmaking adventures. It's called True Indie. I listened to the audiobook years ago. It's awesome. It's read by him, and you can still get it on Amazon. It's from like 2018. I think it stops at John dies at the end. Anyway, it's completely worth your time if you're into like want to hear behind the scenes. But the audiobook opens with him telling the story, like this is to get you into the book, right? Like this is the catch. About that scene specifically, that he was 2 feet away from the shotgun blast in the hearse. In the trunk, filming, and he had a Panaflex camera that was 75 pounds. He had tinfoil over his body, and like the padding for the that you would wear on your shoulder for the camera on his ear to protect his head, and a piece of glass in front of the lens. And they shot the shotgun, and like the wad came out and the fire. And we all know like you should be at least 10 feet or more, like we from the Crow, right?
Yeah.
And his the other guy that was like holding him up or whatever, his helper dude, was like, "Yo, your head's on fire." So the blast went right by him, but it lit like the side of his hat on fire. And that's how the book starts, and you're like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be good." So
Gnarly.
yeah, just props for the book. If it's called True Indie, if you're interested.
And the shot was worth it. It was a cool ass sequence.
Yeah. So Jody calls Reggie to bring his ice cream truck to store the dwarf Tommy body, and they head back to Jody's house.
Tommy body.
Tommy body, yeah. So they decide to stash Mike at the antique store to keep him safe. But at the store, he finds a very old picture of the funeral home, and the tall man is in it. And I love that. I love that shot where it kind of like zooms into the picture and the picture comes to life.
Yeah,
It's great.
It's awesome. It also like implies that he's been around for quite some time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that it comes to life and starts moving around is so like, again, it's dreamlike.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
unsettling and creepy. And I almost like, do you think that actually happened like when he was looking at this picture, or was it just portraying what his imagination was? Like, oh, I recognize this as him.
I think maybe I just want the picture to have like come to life because the tall man is supernatural.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know? But
I like
don't
that.
know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. And they have like an old horse drawn, like,
It's a horse hearse.
horse hearse. Yeah. Yeah. Which it's probably pooping the whole time, which is just like an insult. You know?
I guess.
In all the extracurricular materials you consumed for this movie, was there anybody talking about like what the movie was meant to represent? Like, if anything, like what the tall man was to the kid or anything like that?
Not in the commentary that I watched. They didn't really get into any of that. Yeah, I could say the sequels definitely dig into it more. There's a lot, like they try to explain the mythology a lot, and they build that out. At least in the 4 that I watched. Yeah, it fleshes it out.
Oh, it had me interested because I feel like there's a B plot to this movie is that the older brother, I think we mentioned it earlier, the older brother is, their parents died a few years ago. He feels like he's stuck in this little town. He doesn't want to take care of his little brother anymore, so he wants to leave. And his little brother was stressed out about that. And I don't know, for whatever reason, when I was watching this, I was thinking about like, could the tall man almost represent, and this is kind of literal and cheesy, but I'm just spitballing here, like alienation, like the tall man comes for you, takes away your loved ones that you don't see anymore, and then changes them. So even when you do see them, they're unfamiliar now. He's also like wrapped up in a mausoleum, obviously, in a graveyard, so it's connected to death. And then he's also potentially has literal alien connections, which is very other and distant and unfamiliar. It seemed like he could play as some kind of like metaphor for an uncertain future and not being willing to see the people around you change because you need things to stay the way they are, like for right now.
I mean, it
Yeah.
could also
Something like
be
that.
the idea that, after somebody dies, your memory of them changes from what they actually were.
Yeah.
The further and further you get away from the date that they died, the less you can remember what they look like and things like that. Like, maybe, I don't know.
Could be. It's alienation of another sort, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like there's a there. Maybe that's one of the things that I always love movies that can be read at a ton of levels, and even if they don't mean it intentionally, when they're doing enough crazy shit, and when you have a movie like Phantasm that's so dreamlike in its structure, I can't help but read into it. And even if they weren't intentional about it, I just like that they made that space. Makes me happy.
Well, and I think the ending of the movie, or some stuff we learn right at the end, which I don't want to talk about quite yet.
Yeah, we'll get
kind of leans into another possible explanation for the tall man.
Yeah, and Dan, to your point, I think like all of those spaces for interpretation is what makes the sequels work, and like that mythology building, because I'm sure he didn't know 100%, but there was like these gaps that they could fill in and build out the story over time, and it makes it really cool as you watch the rest of the movie.
I mean, I'm in. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is maybe the fourth time that I've seen this movie now, and I think at this point I just need to buckle down and sit through the rest of them. I have to treat it like a TV show or something, and just down through them. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we'll move on. Mike, sees the picture, realizes that the tall man has been there for years and years and years. He gets the antique store lady to take him home. On the drive home, they find Reggie's ice cream truck turned over because it's crashed. Reggie isn't there, but Mike finds a yellow blood handprint. Mike and the store lady get attacked by the dwarves in their car. The car drives off, but Mike is able to escape out the back window, and he runs home.
I love that whole sequence. Sorry, for one thing, that overturned ice cream truck in that dark fog, cool ass shot. Love that. Yeah. Such a cool image. And then him getting chucked out that back window and just being passed out for a beat. Like, the movie gets really quiet for a moment. And every time I watch this, I'm always having to remind myself, wait, he doesn't die. He doesn't die yet. It's okay. It's awesome. Great little sequence.
Yeah.
It's just like all darkness and the lights of the truck. And then it's kind of like lit from behind and like all these purple like beams of light. It's really cool looking.
It's really alien. Yeah. They might as well be on the surface of the moon. Yeah. Oh, it's great.
I feel like this had to have influenced like all those dream movies that came out eventually, like especially Nightmare on Elm Street series. Just with all the dream logic and like all the crazy lighting and twists and turns that we take in this movie.
Certainly. It has to have. Yeah.
So Mike heads home. He tells Jody that the woman and Reggie got taken by the dwarves. Jody locks Mike in his bedroom while he heads off to Morningside.
You better get on up to your room.
I'm going with you. Nope. I'm not letting you go by yourself. Let me go, goddammit! Son of a bitch! You're not letting me go, are you? You're never coming back, you goddamn bastard! Don't leave me alone! Open that damn door!
But Mike is able to improvise an explosive to blast a hole in the door and unlock the door.
I think that's my favorite scene in the whole movie. The whole movie like grinds to a halt and just watches this kid problem solve for like, it's like a minute, right? Like a full minute. We just watch him jerry-rig a thing to blow through the door. Love it. And it like culminates with this awesome moment where he like straps a shotgun shell to a hammer and then hits the door with the hammer. And as soon as that shotgun shell goes off, like the score comes back and the movie kicks back into gear. Oh, it's so good. Loved it.
Yeah.
I want to see one of those shows. What's that show where they like recreate scenes to see if they could do it in real life?
Like Mythbusters?
Mythbusters?
Yeah, I would like a Mythbusters, but they just blow their hand off. They're like, oh, that didn't work. Yeah, also Mike swigs a Dos Equis when he gets home, which I like.
Yeah.
He's clearly underage, and he gives a little...
While on his big brother's lap.
Yeah. It's kind of nice.
As Mike tries to leave the house, the tall man is outside and he captures him.
I've been waiting for you.
He tosses him into the hearse. As they're driving away from inside the hearse, Mike shoots out the tires and the back window, and he escapes as the hearse crashes and explodes right outside Morningside.
So was the hearse, did the tall man mean to crash the car? Or did the kid cause the car crash by shooting out the tire?
I think he caused the car crash.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, he was taking him to the funeral home regardless.
Gotcha.
Hey,
second time this kid survived a leap out the back of a moving car, so good on him.
There's a lot of jumping through glass and out windows in these movies.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know how to get out. They just launch.
There's a window, not a problem.
Immediately launch. Yeah, it's great.
They had small budget, but they had a big glass budget. Big glass budget.
Yeah, that's right.
In the funeral home, Mike opens up, I believe it's his father's casket from the mausoleum wall, and he sees that it's empty. So he screams, and the silver sphere comes after him.
Oh, yeah.
Right as it gets to him, Jody shows up and shoots it and destroys it.
Boo! I'm on Team Ball.
That's
same.
We're always on Team Ball. If there's one thing I could say about the host of Stabby Stabby is we're Team Ball all the way.
Every movie needs balls. Come on. Yeah, that was a good scene though. It was fun.
I like the Sentinel Sphere ball vision. It's like this solarized effect.
Yeah.
They use it very sparingly, but it's cool. It's just everything's like red and black.
Yeah.
Kind of like almost like Predator vision, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was Predator. Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree.
So they destroyed the ball. They head off to that mystery door, but they're now joined by Reggie, who isn't dead.
Woohoo!
Hi, guys.
Reg, he ain't dead.
No, and I ain't 3'2" yet either. What's going on? Hey, man, I don't know. I've been hiding in a casket playing like a stiff.
I was right over there.
He does say he found the girls that were captured earlier, and he like snuck them out, so they ran off.
He's a ladies' man. He's always finding the girls.
He
Reggie.
does, man.
This moment always strikes me as a little lame every time I see this movie. Like they had to undo some death for some reason. I don't know why. Don't kill Reggie. Reggie's awesome, but like let some other people die. That whole idea of like, oh, I found those other people you thought were dead too, and I got them to safety. They're fine, and all that happened off camera. It just feels a little cheap. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with something that happens in a little bit, having Reggie not like kind of show up and you're like, oh hey, Reggie's back. Like I think it's fun.
Oh no, Reggie coming back I have no problem with. But the whole
love
like
Reggie.
Yeah. I want that ponytail in my life. I hope to be Reggie when I'm 37. I've got 2 years to go bald.
Like the people not being killed and like being rescued or coming to help, it comes right after we learn that their parents were turned into dwarves.
Yeah, that's true.
So like you got this really dark moment, and it's just punctuated by some happiness, Dan. You need happiness sometimes, Dan.
That's fair. I'll take it. Strap me down, force feed me some joy. God damn it! Told you I was a grump today.
Dan's like, kill everybody.
Everybody needs to die on camera.
So now they enter the mystery room, and it's full of barrels, which the barrels are full of future dwarves. And also there's a magic gateway to another world.
Oh, that!
Which, so Mike kind of leans into, he sees the other world. It's just like red. All the dwarves are down there. He basically learns that the tall man uses these dwarves as slaves on another planet where it's hot. There's more gravity, which is why, like, the dwarves need to be shrunk down.
Yeah, he said they, like, compress them. So I guess they can withstand the pressure.
But the tall man is really tall.
So, but he's also super strong. So maybe maybe he would be even taller man on the other planet, but he's been compressed. Also, he's like a shapeshifter, so he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, we don't know if he actually looks like how he looks in the movies. So.
If I was a shapeshifter, I would be a ponytailed ice cream man.
Yeah, a bald ponytailed ice cream man.
Yeah, man. That's how you make the cash.
I'm halfway there. I eat a lot of ice cream and I'm bald.
Let's go.
Grow that ponytail out.
Just get an ice cream truck, slap the word Phantasm on the side. Yeah, you'd make some money.
Yeah, they went. This is when the movie goes full sci-fi horror. Like they're like, oh, you thought you were in a horror movie? Well, actually, this room looks like 2001, and you're in a sci-fi movie all of a sudden. And it's such an awesome little twist. I love it.
Oh, and I love what they did with the music. How once they open the door, this like droning music starts to happen, but then the music gets incorporated into the functionality of the gate itself.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
awesome. Yes, love that.
And the gate's just like 2 metal posts, but it's effective. Like, it's really cool.
It's very alien.
Yeah, so in the room, the lights go out, and they get attacked by dwarves. Everyone seems to be able to run out except for Reggie. As the lights come on, the gateway opens, and it starts sucking in the barrels, and Reggie is able to escape. Now, this is when, like, I think he realizes, like, the gate works by, like, harmonic tones, just like his tuner.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do it. He just touches the gateway posts, and then it like turns on. So he doesn't really do anything, but I think he's connecting it there.
Well, as soon as they show the flashback of him using his fingers to stop the tuning fork, and he remembers that. Right, and then as soon as he puts the 2 hands on the posts for the gate, you hear the droning in the room stop. So he like cuts off the whole thing, and then that's when something like janky happens to the portal, and it starts sucking everybody into it.
Gotcha.
It's like he completes like that connection between the 2. Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, he's our music boy, and good for him. All right.
Team
so
Reggie.
now everyone is outside. As Reggie exits the funeral home, he goes out to help a woman in a lavender dress.
Don't do it, Reggie!
We know she's bad news, so he goes down to help her up, and she stabs him and kills him.
No!
So Reggie's gone.
Forever.
Our good, sweet ice cream boy. He's never coming back.
Yeah, he's permanently dead again. Damn.
Yep. That's how these movies work.
So Mike and Jody find each other outside, and they leave the funeral home. Which we also, like, we see the funeral home flash in red and then vanish.
Yeah.
Like
the whole
it's
gate
like an
collapsed.
interdimensional, like, spaceship. So cool. So back at home, Jody and Mike make a plan to lead the tall man to an old mine shaft and get him to fall down it. It's like 1,000-foot deep hole.
There's an old mine shaft way down by the end of Singer's Creek. 1,000 feet straight down. Just gotta figure out a way to get him up there.
Jody leaves to go get the mine shaft ready.
He has a good line there where he's like,
"We're gonna run that tall bastard straight down to hell."
Yes, I read the same thing, man. Yeah, it's great.
Although, you know, at this point though, the tall man he survived an exploding hearse, so I'm not sure that dumping him into a pit's gonna work. So I don't know. Let's find out. Let's find out if it works.
I think the idea is maybe not to kill him, but it holds him in there. Like, how do you get out of a 1,000-foot hole?
That's true. Trap him. That's a good point.
Yeah. So
or maybe he can change it to the lavender chick and
he goes, "Oh, help me!
No,
Damsel in distress."
Yeah, I was gonna say something inappropriate.
Oh. Yeah. So at home, Mike is attacked by the tall man, and this is where we hear the best line of the movie.
You play a good game, boy, but the game is finished. Now you die.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
that moment
good.
where he blows the door off the hinges.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he has that awesome pose where he's just standing there rigid, but his head is like cocked to the left and looking up, and he's backlit while he's doing that. Terrifying.
Yes.
It reminded me of one of the first times in the classic Nosferatu movie, the really old one. I think one of the first times you see Nosferatu is in that same pose, also backlit, like coming through a door.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's got his hands like behind his back.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
It's almost like when he levitates. Yeah, that's cool. And what's funny is when the door blasts open, it's just like a person running with the door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they just run off frame. But it's so effective. It looks fantastic.
Totally works.
Yeah.
Boy. Classic line. It's awesome.
They just show 4 Jawas on the other side of the door with hammers with old shotgun shells taped to them. That's how they blew the door off.
Missing hands.
So now Mike runs off towards the mine shaft. He's pursued by the tall man. On his way, he encounters some gravestones, some zombie hands, and the lady in lavender. But Mike leads the tall man to the mine shaft, and the tall man ends up falling down. And then Jody dumps a bunch of boulders on top of the shaft to trap him in there.
I think that was the moment where he had the flashbacks when he found quicksand and almost got stuck, and he was almost tempted by the lady in the dress, where he kept reminding himself, fear is the mind killer. He doesn't say that, but it's that thing. Like,
yeah.
Don't be afraid, don't be afraid, don't be afraid.
Yeah. I think I read somewhere that, like, this scene was supposed to be a lot longer, and it was supposed to be about Mike, like, confronting his fears, but they cut it for time.
I thought it would have been nice if... Well, nice. It would have been traumatic, but it would have been interesting if he ran into his parents and they told him, like, to give in to the tall man or something.
Ooh, were they dwarves?
Maybe. Why not? They could, like, pull their hoods back and reveal, like, we love you. They would have, like, really high-pitched voices because they're tiny now. Yeah. That would have been interesting.
They could be, like, Force ghost parents, but they would be small.
Trust in the Force.
And also evil. They'd be telling, like, oh, the tall man's a sweet boy. Call him sweet boy instead of tall man.
Sweet boy.
You play a sweet game, boy.
Just eating an ice cream cone. I'd hang out with him. Uncle Tall Man.
Yeah. So now, so he's trapped in the hole. We cut back to Mike's house. He's sitting by the fire with Reggie. And Mike is worrying about the boulders holding the tall man in the pit. Now, we learn that... So, Reggie's back, guys.
Reggie's back!
What happened? How did he get back? That confused me.
Yeah, so we learned that Jody had actually died in a car accident about a week ago or so.
First he took Mom and Dad. Then he took Jody. Now he's after me.
Mike, that tall man of yours did not take Jody away. Jody died in a car wreck.
Mike believes that the tall man took Jody and took his parents. So Reggie is now taking care of Mike. To kind of make Mike feel better, Reggie, decides they should go on a road trip together and get out of town. So this whole movie was in Mike's imagination?
Yeah, he told me he was like, you had a bad dream.
Yeah.
And he just starts playing guitar.
Yeah, no, this is the part that annoyed me, because he's playing guitar, but the soundtrack is over top of it, and they're just so dissonant.
Yeah.
The sound, it drove me insane. It made me, like, want to vomit.
It made me feel tense, dude. I thought it was a really good, like, tension-building thing. Because something wasn't
do you
right.
think that was intentional?
Oh, yeah.
It sounded to me like something was off. Like, I didn't trust it.
Well, yeah.
Nice,
it definitely
dude.
was off.
That's cool.
Huh. All right. I like your interpretation. It's just like sounds that just don't fit together. They make me nauseous. So hearing that, I was just like, I can't.
So we've gotten through feed. We've gotten through taxidermia. We've gotten through Ebola syndrome. But this movie playing the wrong chords on top of each other. Greg's out. He's done.
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah. That's my one trigger for vomiting.
We'll call it ear gore.
So it's all been a dream, I guess. Maybe. Because Mike goes upstairs to pack for the road trip, and we see the tall man's reflection in the mirror. Mike turns towards the tall man, and then the mirror breaks, and dwarf hands grab him and pull Mike inside the mirror.
Boom.
And then we cut the credits.
Yeah,
boys.
baby!
Yeah, boy.
Hell yeah! That was Phantasm.
Yeah, that was Phantasm.
That was great. That was fantastic. Thank you, Greg.
I think we should intercut Flavor Flav saying boy over Angus Scrimm saying boy and see what happens.
All right, maybe. Yeah, we'll see if I have the time.
Re-release the movie. Oh, that could be in the cartoon. We'll add that in the cartoon.
Oh, yeah. Flavor
could
Flav
be like
would definitely be playing the tall man in the cartoon.
Or no, he could be like a guest star, like how the Globetrotters would come in. It could be Flavor Flav and they're just saying boy to each other the whole time.
I was just imagining the Globetrotters playing basketball with the balls. And they could just like massacre the other team. And it would just be played as a joke and the crowd would all be cheering.
Yes.
And the entire basketball court would just be like shin deep with blood.
Man, yeah, that sounds so good.
I would watch that. Speaking of which, do you guys hear that droning sound? Sounds like there's some jingly jangly balls coming to stab these movies. What do you think?
Oh, I think we should do it.
All right, let's do it.
Time for the ratings.
So here on Stabby Stabby, we like to rate our movies 1 to 10 stabs. 1 stab maybe being like a Care Bear movie. And 10 stabs maybe being just a masterpiece that you want to live inside. Maybe you want it to pull you into its own mirror world so you can be best friends with Reggie. So let's go ahead and start with Dan.
Me?
Dan, how many stabs are you giving of Phantasm?
I'm giving Phantasm 8 out of 10 stabs. I don't need to reiterate all the stuff we just talked about because I feel like we spent most of this time praising this movie because it's just a good-ass movie. It's really fun. It's imaginative. The score is amazing. The effects all hold up really, really well. It's beautifully directed. It's got, like, an amazing, awesome villain in the Tall Man that's genuinely creepy and spooky and truly, like, he's so other. He's just alien. He's just so alien. It's amazing. And like the alien twist, the literal alien twist that they find in the 2001: A Space Odyssey room is brilliant. What's that other movie where they like mind meld with some creature and it turns out it's from an alien? Is it Tremors? No, it's not Tremors. What's that? What is that other movie? It's got an awesome like alien twist that I love. I love it when a horror movie isn't satisfied with just being supernatural. They have like they even ground the supernatural abilities in something, and that's great. I loved it. And it's got balls, it's got boobs, it's a classic for a reason. Yeah, Phantasm 8 out of 10 for me. I loved it. Greg, what did you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and give this 9 stabs. I love this movie. Angus Scrimm is terrifying in like the best grandpa kind of way. And also, I love Don Coscarelli. John Dies at the End is so fun. Bubba Hotep is so fun. Like, his stuff is just so good. And I love the fact that he's really like a balls-to-the-wall indie director. This obviously was a passion project. And it really came across on screen. There was a lot of love put into this movie, a lot of enjoyment. And it just, and you'll never forget your first Reggie. And, Reggie will always live in my heart. So yeah, it's a great movie. I definitely need to go back and rewatch the rest of the franchise. It's been a couple years. So, 9 stabs from a silver sphere from me. Eric, give me them stabs.
I'm going 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I'm going full 10.
Hey,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I just think this is legendary. I think it's insane and it's fun. It's completely just original. It's badass. I feel like it's mandatory viewing for all horror fans. It's just so good. It has a gothic feel, but also it's like futuristic and freaking love it. It's awesome. I never get tired of watching it. And yeah, shout out to the sequels. There's some weird shit going on in the sequels. There's like chainsaw battles. There's gold spheres that shoot lasers. Reggie wears a hat that says Boogie Down on it and carries a four barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
There's a pink hearse. There's a killer frisbee. Jody comes back as a talking sphere. It's just, yeah, it's weird and great. One thing I just want to say real quick on the disc, I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch it or not, but there is a deleted scene where Mike gets drunk with his brother, with Jody, and they just go driving around in the Cuda, and then Mike starts singing a song about how he has to take a piss. And they pull over to a ice cream joint, I guess that serves ice cream, beer, because they order Mexican beer, and then Jody talks in like a completely racist Mexican accent.
Oh no.
And then Reggie's there just playing guitar for some reason. And then there's a food fight in the ice cream store. Mike gets passed out. They cover him in ice cream. And then they make a banana with cookies for balls, like cock and balls on him, like out of the ice cream after he's passed out.
That's awesome.
Ridiculous. It must have just been them just fucking around having fun. Coscarelli's 23 when he started making this, so I can't imagine how much fun that set would have been and them just screwing around. But that deleted scene is fantastic. It just ramps up insanity and it's completely worth watching. But anyway, yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Love me some Phantasm.
And that's something that's interesting about this movie is like it doesn't feel like a 70s movie.
Not at
to
all.
Me. Like it
Not
feels
at all.
timeless.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I think I typically wouldn't rate Sellout October movies that high because normally like they're studio movies, they're bigger budget, they're trying to reach for a larger audience. Phantasm was super low budget indie film, but it found its kind of niche and then wormed its way like into these zeitgeist of like horror.
Oh yeah,
$300,000. $300,000.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That it's
yeah, his dad bankrolled it, and then he did a rough cut, and then they got a critic friend to review it, and he was like, "This is awesome." And then they brought it to Universal, and Universal gave him the money to finish it, which is like, what a story! Like that's awesome.
That's rad as hell. Well, we love you listeners, dear, sweet, beautiful, lovely listeners, as much as we love Phantasm, which is to say a lot. So thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. If you know other people that would enjoy a podcast like this, please let them know. This whole thing started as a way for us to kind of keep chitter-chattering about movies during the pandemic, and now it's become a thing that we do. If you want to join that original spirit of our experiment here, where we review movies kind of like a book club, challenge each other with the movie to watch, and then get together and chat about what we just saw. Greg, is there a way for listeners to find out what we're going to be watching before we spoil the whole goddamn thing?
They're going to need to come on into my Instagram mausoleum, where we're going to shrink you down into little dwarf size. And we're going to write on your hand so you remember to follow us at Stabby Pod, where every Wednesday we'll announce the next movie that we're going to watch. And then new episodes come out Monday morning, which will give you 5 tall man days to watch the movie. I had nothing for that this time. You have 5 days to watch the movie before we spoil it for you on Monday morning. So hop on over, follow us, talk with me, and let us know what you want us to watch. I think we have our movies picked out for October, but what weirdo stuff do you know that we don't know? We've gotten some very good recommendations. I probably wouldn't have watched Ebola Syndrome if it wasn't suggested to us. Yep. Pop on over to one of our posts or our DMs or however that works, and let us know what you want us to watch.
Please and thank you. And Eric, what do we like to say at the end of every episode of Stabby Stabby?
We like to say, don't forget to stab your friends. Boy.
Bye.